back to the story. Second play, they line up, they throw the ball 90 yards, catch, run it in for another touchdown. Crowd is going crazy, maybe. But you know what? They line back up. They don't even try to kick for the one. They go for the two. And you know what? They made it. It's beautiful. I mean, the game, I don't know what the score was, about maybe like 170 something to nothing. I don't know. But is that a game you'd like to see? I don't think so. And you know why? Because there's no opposition. Nobody wants to see a game where nobody's stopping them and you just run in and get as many points as you want. It's boring. You know what the best Super Bowl game is when it comes down to the very last second and it's that Hail Mary pass as the quarterback gets, sacked by, 3 or 4, attackers, and he gets the ball up. The ball is flying in the air and the receiver is sitting there in the end zone surrounded by like 5 defenders, and they all jump up at the same time, and he fumbles the ball a little bit in the air and pulls it in at the very last second. Then the crowd goes crazy. Maybe they're lined up at the 2-yard line, very last play of the game. Defenders against the next champion. Game is tied. That's the game you want to see. Because, see, the sweetest victory is based on the amount of opposition you have to overcome. That's just life. And I got news for you. As soon as you start to accomplish something, as soon as you start to get your mind and your body in line, and you start to find a goal and you start marching towards that goal for an accomplishment, obstacles are going to come. They're just gonna. And you know what? You don't even have to look for them. They'll show up. I guarantee you. And I don't know. We all are going to have to deal with these obstacles. They're going to show up whether you want them to or not. So let's talk about some of the obstacles you're going to have to deal with if you haven't already. Okay? Let's start off with number 1. We're going to use concrete brick to demonstrate your obstacles. First obstacle, 160,000 kids every year skip school out of fear of being bullied. They can't take it. Somebody's messing with them, picking with them, and they can't deal with it anymore. That's just one. Bullying is one of the major reasons why kids skip school. Second, about 2,500 kids every year are going to try their first cigarette. Out of those 2,500, 4 of them are going to become regular users. Out of those, half of those are going to die because of the habit. That's an obstacle. How about 90% of all drug addicts begin using drugs before the age of 18? Think about that one. How about gun violence? Gun violence. Who would think that in today's age, you would have to have an active shooter drill included in your fire drill? That's the age we're living in right now. I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of this or that. Gun violence is real. How about the first time the majority of the time, the first time that a person is exposed to pornography is at age 11 or younger. Only you know. How about just fitting in? Discovering who you are. You're in a new school, new friends, Maybe you're alone. Maybe you're trying to find out what in the world your body is taking you through. All these things are going on in your mind in this new environment and this new age you're in. It could be an issue. It could be an issue. How about how about social media? Computers, social media, Snapchat, I can't even name them all. We got so many. But just trying to find your likes and trying to be accepted and trying to do other things, at the very least, it's distracting. At the worst, it could be addictive. And believe it or not, social media and the internet, that's where you're going to get the majority of your violence, of your sex, and your bullying. That's where it's coming from. Some you got to deal with. How about things you can't control? You got diabetes. You got sickle cell. You got personal disabilities. I couldn't even imagine being confined to a wheelchair or a disability that no one sees. Mental illness, so many things. I got one. How about a pandemic? How about an invisible disease, virus, that is on the earth that affects people and kills people and you can't see it, and you have to shut down schools, shut down businesses, shut down everything, stay isolated away from people just to live and survive? Who saw that coming? It's an obstacle. Think about it. We're not finished. How about racism? You know it's real. We all know it's real. We're living in a day to where if you're not facing it now, you'll face it later. One way, some way, racism is something that we have to deal with. Some deal with it in the positive, some deal with it in the negative. How are you going to deal with it? And here's the one that gets me the most. This is the topper. The number one, or I would say the leading cause of death between 12 and 18-year-olds is suicide. Yeah, suicide. Suicide means that somebody looked at one or more of these problems and realized that they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't see past dealing with it another day. So they made a permanent solution to a temporary problem, thinking that if they weren't in the world, nobody would care. Nothing would matter. Nobody would even miss them if they were gone. I'm here to tell you right now that you're wrong. See, check this out. With my whole heart of hearts, this is what I believe. That on this earth, we have many, many problems. Many problems. I just mentioned a few, more than we can even deal with. But on the day you were born, you were assigned to tackle one of those problems. Yeah, I believe it. Now check it out. Einstein, he accomplished what he was here to do. The Wright brothers, they seem to accomplish their task. And we have countless of authors and teachers and doctors and scientists, not to mention the moms and dads that support those people doing the big things. We all have a job to do. So, what were you sent here to do? What task? Because like I said, the day you were born, you were assigned to accomplish and to take care of one of those problems. So what's yours? I mean, we still got the common cold. We got cancer. We have world hunger. Okay? Coronavirus. Are one of those your job? Is one of those your job? See? And what happens if you decide not to do it? What happens if you take yourself out of this world before you even realize why you were sent here? Yeah. No. See, I said that there were three foundations, three pinnacles that you need to do or have to be successful. And that third one is passion. Passion. You have to have passion in order to get through these things. Believe me, if you're going to take on any one of these, you're not going to do it just by yourself. You have to have passion. Passion is like that, it's that spark. It's that spark of a stick of dynamite that when you add that dynamite to the power of the mind and the resources of the body, and you take that passion as a stick of dynamite and you put it in there, ooh, boom! Can't be stopped. Can't be stopped. Let's go back. In karate, in the martial arts, passion is defined by a ki. The ki is that loud, explosive yell that you hear when someone performs a breaking technique or someone's in a competition and they score a real good point. Ki is that battle cry when you hear, like in Affinity Wars, when the Avengers are facing Thanos and his army and they finally start to go at each other. It's like, ah! A ki, passion, is that yell you let out when you find out that the girl you like somebody else. And you're like, why? You just can't take it. But that's a ki. Now, a ki does three things. Number one, it warns the enemy not to come in here. See, once you scream, it lets somebody know you take another step forward, there's going to be some problems. Number two, it invigorates the body. It makes you stronger. Because when you hear yourself scream, it empowers you. It gives you strength. And number three, it temporarily removes pain from the body. What would you accomplish? What would you attempt if you knew you could feel no pain? That's the power of passion. That's the power of a ki. So